Hello everyone, George Packard, Family Lawn and Landscape. Today we're going to repair some pavers. So here's the problem. This little bit of moisture here, what happens is when it rains, the water is coming here and it's actually just pooling up towards the house. So this is not a major problem, but it is something that happens with pavers all the time. So therefore I'm going to show you how to fix this. If you look closely right here, it looks like this is mounded up even for some reason. And this is down a little bit by the door, so the very first thing I think we should do, take a compactor across this right here. And the water could be coming up here and then running off of this crown towards this door. Now if we flatten this out, that might be enough right there to make this water run off. So that's the first thing. The second thing, if you look over here, you'll see where water's pooling up. See this dirt that's on top of these pavers right here? Okay, that's because the water's running down from all this stuff and pooling up. So for sure this has got to get raised up out of here, okay? I don't know how bad it is back here, but yeah, you can see here where the dirt is right here, that's where the water's pooling, right in this spot. So the first thing, we'll run a compactor across that, see if we can hammer that down. Second thing, these have to get lifted back up. For whatever reason they collapsed, something happened with the base on this. So let's try the compactor right off the bat and see if we can knock that loose. All right. Tools you will need for this job: that compactor, rubber hammers, such, so on and so forth. For example, we call this our Harley box. We bring it with us everywhere, hence Harley. But you'll need all kinds of things like rubber hammers. I'm not even going to say that I get these from Amazon, but I'm just telling you. Things you're going to need: knee pads, screeds and whatnot. What we have in here is limestone screenings, and that's what we're going to use for a base. Now, you may not have these. I get questions like this all the time. If I tell you I use limestone screenings here, you may not have limestone screenings where you live, but you have something. You have some sort of stone. We have a lot of limestone in our area, so therefore this is what's left after they crush them, and that stuff packs up really hard, so that helps us for a base. You may not have that. You may have road base by you, some sort of crushed aggregate is what you're looking for to help you lift that up. In the old days it was sand. Sand I don't like because just like walking on a beach, you know how your feet go back and forth like this because you're walking on ball bearings, so sand doesn't hold up well. This type of stuff, because it's more of a crushed aggregate, like I said, see there's a lot of fine pieces in there of what's left of the actual stone. This packs, so when you pack it up you can see how it tends to pack, you know, decent. So that's what we use there. All right, so that being said, the very first thing is to see if we can pound that down. So we will need, never cleaned up because we don't believe in it. Should be, because it looks terrible like this. Good job for later, apparently. All right, so now that. But I think what I'd like to do is start right here and pulling these pavers out across here so that we can get these back up just a little bit. That's going to be tricky because it's not far from hitting that right now, and for sure these got to come up. So therefore, Jeremiah, why don't you put these on and pop those out. You see that look on his face? You know why? You don't like to work. You thought,
I like to work.
well, why aren't you moving?
Oh, well, here. I'm young yet. I don't need knee pads.
Young yet, he says. Doesn't need knee pads. Wait till he gets to be my age. He's going to wish he had used knee pads. Which you can get at Amazon.com, by the way.
All right, now that we have all the pavers pulled up where our spot is high, low, not even, what we're going to do now is take our spatula from our Harley box and we're going to take down where the high spot is and level everything else out with a small grade so all the water runs away from the door. Wherever it's low, we have our crushed limestone screenings, which we went through earlier. They pack up real nice. We're going to use that to fill in all the low spots to bring everything up, and then run over it with the compactor. Call it good.
Don't forget, still have to fill the joints with sand.
That's to come.
That's right. All right, let's get busy.
All right.
Thought you maybe went fishing.
I looked for their poles, but I couldn't find them.
Nope.
There's a nice little shadow mark on what's already been weathered and what hasn't, because it's been hiding underneath the patio door. So I'm just going to line that right back up to where it was underneath the door. So everything else should line right back up. I went through, I pulled all my block out, and so I know where they go. I made sure that they're all organized out here,
right,
so I can just grab them and put them right back in.
Right, so when you take those out, and if you don't do that, what happens?
Consecutive error. You're going to make one mistake here and it's going to show face all the way down there. You're going to have gaps 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch wide. We don't want that, so we want to try to keep it as tight as possible like it was when we first arrived.
Very good. Only allowed to do 1/2 hour for this project.
It's a good thing it's only taken me 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you make money. That looks way better. Your typical Wisconsin home. On a lake anyway. Beautiful, just beautiful. Gorgeous lawn.
So this is one of the blocks that I didn't pull out. It still has a low spot, so I'm going to pull that out to raise it up on the one end here.
Okay.
So it matches everything we got going on.
Right. You don't need a real lot of material in there, do you?
Nope, just a little bit. It's gonna bring it up right where I need it to. It's gonna be up just a little bit. Gives you enough room to sit there and tap it down, which helps pack your material down as well and line everything up with everything else. Trying to get these all done up here by the wall. That way, well, we can't get that close to it with the compactor. So that we're gonna be out here with that.
Right. So if you can't get it with the compactor, you're using a hammer to
beat it down with the hammer. That way it packs real good.
Roger that.
Right now it looks like I need to grab myself a leaf blower or clean off the dirt that I left here, and then we can run the compactor over it, throw some sand in, sweep that off. We should be done.
That's that polymeric joint sand.
The polymeric joint sand, yeah. Once you sprinkle that on there, you want to brush it into the cracks real nicely, and then you're going to want to soak it down. Not soak it, but just mist it, get it wet, and then let that sit for about 15-20 minutes, and then go back at it again after it dries. You want to do that 3 times.
So you want to mist it 3 times.
Yep, so that way once the sand gets wet, it will harden and act almost as a mortar.
Roger that. All right, let's get that blower.
I'm on it. pavers down. I've blown all the dirt and debris away. What's next to do is to compact it, make sure everything falls together real nice and level, and then throw our polymeric sand in there. So, on that, time to compact. Compacted down, takes all the loose spots out, the impurities, make sure everything's a nice flat surface under there so you don't end up with cracked pavers. Now we go along and we seal everything up with our paver joint sand, paver locking sand in this case. Got this stuff right here. It's a polymeric sand. That's what we were discussing earlier. It'll harden up once it gets wet, acts as a mortar. So how we put this in, because we disturbed all this, we need to fill in the cracks of where we were working. So we're going to apply a nice coat across all our cracks, because we want all that to sit in there. It's going to help seal it up.
Heard it. Yeah. So now, let's take, before we get too carried away, find a broom. Over there. And get this done, because, as I said, I allotted half an hour for this job. Or an hour, whatever I said earlier. Regardless, Jeremiah takes too long.
Took me 5 minutes, just like I said. The other 25, it's all his.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now you'll notice too, when you're filling these cracks in, they almost, if you can get a close-up of this, just pick a spot, say right where my finger is. You see that?
Yes.
You bring that sand in, it'll just keep filling, keep filling. Just brush over that stuff slowly, let it fill the gaps, and then we got to brush all this back off. So that's why you don't want to put a ton of it on to begin with. But you do want all the cracks full, and it's almost like an hourglass. That stuff will just fill right in and looks awesome. And it's done right, they're going to be happy. I think, if Jeremiah's work is good, they'll be happy. However, I did not anticipate having to jump in on this project. I assumed Jeremiah would do it. See how that is right there? It's like an hourglass. That was the hourglass effect I was talking about. But I bet you missed it, didn't you? No? You have it? You're shaking your head.
I got it.
All right. Now, up here by the house, we most definitely are filling that in. Most definitely, because there is no edging on the back side of this to hold this stuff in place. None. Numero uno nano. So therefore, we're going to put our sand back there to help hold it in place.
What did you want to show me? What are you doing?
Water in the polymeric sand.
When you water it, what's the important thing
missed-
to remember?
You missed it on there,
Why?
because you don't want to push the sand out of the cracks.
So if you water it too fast,
You're
you'll
gonna
push
wash-
that sand right out on top, and then it'll stick to the top of the paver, yes?
Yeah. Everywhere we put sand, you don't want to soak it right out the gate. Like I said, you'll push it all out of the grooves. We don't want that. Nice wet surface without pushing the sand out of the joints.
All right, and you're going to do that 3 times and you're done, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Enough of him. Let's talk about me. Just kidding. All right, I think we're done. So hopefully that helps you guys out. If you ever have to repair one of those, not a big deal at all. Usually it's 15-20 minutes for me, but for Jeremiah,
5 minutes, 25 for Packard.
been here a long time, folks. Thanks for watching. Leave me your comments down below.